Since the dawn of humanity, we have gazed up at the stars and wondered, are we alone? The vastness of space whispers the possibility of otherworldly life. But what if the answer isn't light years away? What if it's right next door? The moon has captivated our imaginations for millennia. Its presence has inspired myths, legends, and scientific inquiries. But the moon may hold secrets more profound than we ever imagined. Whispers and rumors have circulated about strange occurrences on the lunar surface. Unexplained lights and unusual formations fuel speculation. Could these be mere tricks of light and shadow, or something more? We delve into the possibility that we are not alone in our cosmic neighborhood, examine the evidence, theories, and testimonies suggesting aliens on the moon. Journey with us into the realm of the unknown, where truth may be stranger than fiction. The moon, a silent guardian in our night sky, has always held a certain mystique. Its barren, cratered surface has become the subject of intense scrutiny and speculation. While scientists have mapped its surface and analyzed its composition, questions remain. Photographs capturing unusual anomalies and reports of strange signals hint at something extraordinary. Could these anomalies be evidence of an extraterrestrial presence, hidden in plain sight? Prepare to have your perceptions challenged as we explore the possibility of aliens hiding on the moon.
The human eye is naturally drawn to patterns, seeking order in chaos. When we gaze upon the moon's surface, our minds connect the dots, turning random craters and shadows into familiar shapes. But what if some of these shapes aren't so random after all? Among the Apollo mission photos, a few stand out as particularly curious. These images seem to show structures that defy easy explanation. Towering shapes casting long shadows across the lunar landscape, geometric patterns etched into crater rims, and strange glowing lights that seem to move independently. Skeptics argue these are tricks of light and shadow, pareidolia at its finest. The human brain is wired to find familiar patterns even where none exist. But some researchers aren't so quick to dismiss these anomalies. They point to the consistency of certain shapes, the angles and shadows that seem incongruous with the surrounding terrain. Could these be remnants of ancient alien structures, evidence of a civilization that predates our own? Or are they simply natural formations, sculpted by eons of meteor impacts and seismic activity? The answer, like the moon itself, remains tantalizingly out of reach.
One particular lunar anomaly has captured the imagination of researchers for decades: the shard. This towering, spire-like structure, captured in a single Apollo image, seems to rise miles above the lunar surface. Its sharp angles and smooth sides stand in stark contrast to the surrounding craters and boulders. Some believe the shard is evidence of an artificial structure, perhaps a beacon or a communication tower left behind by an advanced civilization. Others suggest it could be a naturally occurring crystal formation, thrust upward by seismic forces. However, no other lunar feature resembles the shard in size, shape, or composition. The shard is not alone. Other lunar oddities, like the Cobra Head Formation, a snake-like structure winding its way across the surface, and the castle, a cluster of towering objects resembling ancient ruins, continue to fuel speculation. Are these merely tricks of light and our own overactive imaginations? Or could they be glimpses into a hidden lunar reality? While definitive answers remain elusive, the sheer number and variety of these anomalies warrant further investigation. The moon, once considered a barren wasteland, may hold secrets more profound than we ever imagined. The debate over government transparency regarding UFOs has raged for decades. Some demand the truth, arguing that secrecy breeds distrust. Others fear that disclosure could cause panic and unrest. Governments grapple with the implications of revealing what they know. High-profile incidents and declassified files have fueled public interest. The call for full disclosure grows louder, but the debate remains complex.
One of the most intriguing figures in ufology is Sergeant Karl Wolfe, a former US Air Force technician who claimed to have seen alien structures on the moon. Wolfe served at a top-secret facility in the 1960s and alleged he saw images of buildings on the moon's far side. These images were highly classified, and he was sworn to secrecy. Years later, he went public, claiming the public had a right to know. Wolfe's testimony was detailed but lacked concrete evidence. Skeptics dismissed his claims, but others found them compelling. Wolfe maintained his story until his death in 2016. His case highlights the public's fascination with hidden truths about the moon.
Looking up at the moon, it's easy to imagine it as a silent, watchful guardian eternally observing Earth from its celestial perch. But what if that's precisely what someone, or something, is doing? The Watchtower Hypothesis proposes that the moon serves as an ideal observation post for extraterrestrial civilizations studying our planet. Its strategic location and lack of atmosphere provide an unobstructed view of Earth. An advanced civilization could establish a base on the far side, shielded from Earth's signals. Why not simply observe us from afar, using advanced telescopes or probes? The moon could act as a cosmic laboratory, allowing extraterrestrials to study us. If they are out there, observing us, what might they be looking for? The surface of the moon, scarred by countless meteor impacts, seems like an inhospitable place to establish a base. But what if the real action is happening underground? Some theories propose that alien bases might be hidden deep beneath. Vast subterranean complexes could provide a stable environment. The discovery of vast lava tubes suggests extensive underground spaces. These could provide ample space for alien bases. An underground base would offer protection from meteoroids and solar flares. It would also allow them to operate in secrecy.
What if the history of the moon is intertwined with humanity in ways we are only beginning to understand? Ancient astronaut theorists propose extraterrestrials visited Earth, influencing human civilization. Some believe the moon played a crucial role in these encounters. Myths describe gods or sky beings descending from the heavens. They interpret these stories as evidence of extraterrestrial contact. Adding to the intrigue are unexplained anomalies on the lunar surface. Mainstream science often dismisses these theories, but the fascination endures.
Evaluating the credibility of whistleblower testimonies is complex and subjective. Without concrete evidence, it can be difficult to discern truth from fabrication. This is particularly true in ufology, where belief and skepticism often blur. When it comes to alleged whistleblowers claiming knowledge of alien bases on the moon, the credibility conundrum becomes more pronounced. Their stories often involve highly classified information, making it virtually impossible to verify their claims. Additionally, many choose to remain anonymous, citing fears of reprisal, complicating efforts to assess their trustworthiness. Skeptics argue that the lack of concrete evidence and the sensationalized nature of these claims render them unreliable. They point to the possibility of financial gain or notoriety as motivating factors. However, some researchers argue that dismissing them outright ignores the potential for genuine whistleblowers being silenced by powerful forces. They contend that the sheer number and consistency of some testimonies warrant further investigation.
Whether or not one believes in specific whistleblower testimonies, the number of individuals claiming to have witnessed unusual activity on the moon raises questions about transparency. The recurring theme of government secrecy, particularly within agencies like NASA, feeds into a climate of distrust. The argument used to justify this secrecy, that releasing such information would lead to widespread panic, rings hollow for many. This lack of transparency fuels conspiracy theories and erodes public trust. The question remains, if there is nothing to hide, why the secrecy? Proponents of disclosure argue that transparency is essential for a healthy democracy. The ongoing debate highlights the need for a more open dialogue about what we know and what we deserve to know about our place in the cosmos.
The Apollo missions captivated the world. Millions watched as astronauts walked on the lunar surface and returned with stories and images that expanded our understanding of the cosmos. But what if some of those stories and images never made it to the public eye? One enduring mystery is the case of the missing tapes. Hundreds of hours of audio and video recordings from the missions have been lost, erased, or remain unaccounted for. While some losses can be attributed to bureaucratic mishaps, others raise questions about deliberate suppression of information. Among the most significant losses are the tapes containing the original footage of the Apollo 11 moon landing. While NASA claims these tapes were accidentally erased, some researchers find this explanation implausible. The missing tapes represent a significant gap in our historical record. They fuel speculation that something extraordinary might have been captured, deemed too sensitive to release to the public. NASA attributes the loss of many Apollo-era recordings to technical glitches and accidental erasures. While plausible for some data, these explanations strain credulity when applied to the volume and significance of the lost recordings. Critics argue that NASA would have had safeguards to prevent such significant losses. The circumstances surrounding some losses raise further suspicion. For example, during the Apollo 11 mission, a mysterious 2-minute gap in radio communication occurred as the lunar module was landing. NASA attributed this gap to an overheated amplifier, but some researchers believe it was deliberate. Adding to the intrigue are accounts from former NASA employees alleging a sanitization process for unsuitable images and recordings. These allegations contribute to a sense that the full story of lunar exploration has yet to be told. Are these missing tapes and gaps in communication the result of human error, or do they hint at a deliberate effort to conceal evidence?
Across cultures, humanity has shared stories of gods descending from the heavens, shaping civilizations. Could these ancient myths hold a kernel of truth, a distant echo of actual encounters with extraterrestrial visitors? Ancient astronaut theorists believe so. They point to the striking similarities in these myths as evidence of a shared experience with beings from beyond our world. These beings, they argue, were advanced extraterrestrials, their technology perceived as divine. The moon, in this context, takes on a pivotal role as a potential base of operations for these ancient astronauts. Its proximity to Earth and barren surface would have made it an ideal location for an extraterrestrial civilization. Could these ancient visitors have left behind more than just stories? Might some unexplained structures on the lunar surface be remnants of their presence?
If extraterrestrial civilizations have been visiting Earth for millennia, why? What role might the moon have played? The ancient astronaut theory proposes the moon may have served as a base for extraterrestrials exploring our solar system. Its lack of atmosphere and minimal gravity would have made it an ideal location for spacecraft to land and take off. From this lunar outpost, these ancient astronauts could have launched expeditions to Earth, observing and interacting with early humans. The moon becomes a silent witness to humanity's earliest encounters with the cosmos. While mainstream science often dismisses the ancient astronaut theory, the unexplained phenomena on the moon continue to fuel speculation. The truth may be buried beneath layers of time, hidden on the surface of our closest celestial neighbor. As we've journeyed through lunar anomalies and whistleblower accounts, one thing is clear: the moon remains a place of profound mystery. The evidence points to a narrative far more complex than the one presented in our textbooks. Are we truly alone in space, or has our celestial neighbor played host to visitors from beyond the stars? Skepticism is essential, a necessary counterbalance to the allure of the unknown. But as we've explored the possibility of aliens on the moon, we've encountered a pattern of secrecy that hinders our quest for understanding. Whether these patterns are due to security concerns or something more deliberate, they hinder open dialogue about our place in the cosmos. The truth lies somewhere in the shadows, waiting to be illuminated. The moon, once a symbol of humanity's reach for the stars, now stands as a challenge, guarding secrets that may hold the key to understanding our past, present, and future. The search for extraterrestrial life is ultimately a search for ourselves, a quest to understand our place in a universe teeming with possibilities. Whether or not we find proof of alien bases on the moon, the act of exploration defines us as a species. The moon serves as a blank canvas upon which we project our hopes and fears. It is a reminder that the universe is full of wonders yet to be discovered. The search for answers may lead us down unexpected paths, challenging our assumptions. As we move forward, let us embrace the spirit of curiosity that has driven us since the dawn of humanity. Let us approach the mysteries of the moon with open minds and a healthy dose of skepticism. The universe is vast, its secrets waiting to be unveiled. Let us continue to explore, to question, and to dream, for in the pursuit of knowledge we may uncover truths more profound than we ever imagined.